Hello. Um, Today is the memorial of St. Thomas Aquinas. Um, Great person for us, for me especially, to think of today. He is the patron saint of Catholic schools, uh, colleges, schools, students. As the parent of two boys who are currently virtual for a couple weeks. I could use his help. It's, but no, well known for his writing and great feast. In addition, today's gospel is wonderful, and I know I'm confident that I have given many reflections on this reading in the past few years, and uh, it's funny. Typically, I find with scripture that whenever I reread something, there's something new that kind of really grabs my attention and makes me think and feel. And today's gospel, I suppose, is the exception. I know that I've done this, and I know that the same line has grabbed my attention every time. And whoever has ears ought to hear is that line that every time just really pulls me in, and I think you know today I'm thinking about it, and it reminds me of a conversation I had just last night, and something I read as well last night. And what I read is actually it's in a like a daily meditations kind of thing, and it is a spiritual axiom that every time we are disturbed, no matter what the cause, there is something wrong with us. Again, it is a spiritual axiom that every time we are disturbed, no matter what the cause, there is something wrong with us. And the conversation I had with a friend of mine, he was describing conflict that he had at work with a colleague of his, and how this person had said something that he really took the wrong way and kind of internalized and was kind of bent out of shape. And he told me it, and I'm trying to wrap my head around, like, it really doesn't sound all that bad. And the more we got into it and had a conversation about it, lo and behold, eventually this friend of mine, had to concede that, like, when he looked at it a little closer, it was the idea that, they were working together on this project, and he wasn't really doing his fair share. So this guy had said something that really wasn't anything at all, but he took it the wrong way because he was feeling a little insecure, a little off, because he wasn't, holding his own, and whoever has ears ought to hear. How often, for many of us, I'll say from my own experience, I know what I hear and what is being said are not always the same thing. And for me today, that's a big opportunity in today's gospel to say, do I listen? How am I listening to the world around me today? As I often say, through the lens of my faith, and what I see, what I hear, how I interpret the world around me, is not always the ideal of looking and listening, through that lens, and today I think for me that the gospel's inviting us to consider, how we're perceiving the world around us, and whoever has ears ought to hear, and in what what I'm listening to God, or is it all wrapped up in me? So that's honestly the biggest takeaway I have from today's gospel. I hope that all of you are well, that everyone is safe. And I say it every single week, and I mean it every single week. I hope that I will see many of you soon. We're only a few weeks removed from the beginning of Lent, and perhaps that'll be a time where gradually many of us will feel more and more comfortable doing more. And for those of us who are not, we'll continue making things like this available. So thank you. Hope you're all well.